So, how to solve problems in your life, right? So, if you are seeing this video, I want you to pay attention, watch to the end, so that you can learn how you can actually solve your problems. If you find yourself in any situation, how can you navigate around it? Or if you are already in a situation right now, how can you navigate through that situation and come out, right? So let's go. The first thing you want to do to solve any problem is to list out the problems. Either you want to write them down on on paper, or you want to use your tab, your phone, your notebook, any pad, or you want to make sure that the thing is set fixed in your mind. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to identify. You cannot solve what you don't know. Most people don't know what their problem actually is. That's the truth. If you ask most people now, what exactly is the problem with you, they cannot tell you, right? They cannot tell you this is exactly what my problem is. Some people will even tell you my problem right now is just money. But if you look deep, most people's problem is not money. Most people's problem is knowledge. Somebody that have no value to give is looking for money. That is going to steal. So you need to identify your problems. You understand? Identify your problems. So when you identify the problems, you now begin to brood on it. Brood on it. Okay, let say your problem is that you need money, you need financial empowerment. So you have to identify that, okay, the way my life is going now, more money will make my life better. Not just lying to yourself, but you know that more money will make your life better. So the problem here is getting more money, right? Another person problem may be maybe he's facing a divorce or the relationship is shaky. So identify your problem. When you identify the problem, what you want to do is you want to list it down. You want to begin to brood on it. When you finally get to this step where you have identified, a wise man said, if you can write the problem down, you have solved the 70%. It's not lying, because you see, every time you are able to identify the exact problem, the exact cause of that issue, you are close to solving it, right? So you want to identify your problems, identify what the problem is. Then, now that you have identified them, look for the one that is of utmost urgency. So let's say, for example, somebody is having financial challenge, maybe in the place of work, is having issues and all that. Let me give a better example. Let's say you have employment, you are living in a particular state, say Lagos, and you have a job offer in, let's say, use somewhere like Abuja, and you are in a serious relationship that you are committed to, right? Now, if you are put in a fix where you have to choose between the relationship and that job, now that is a problem, a chaos on its own. You understand? So now what you want to do is you want to weigh your options between the relationship and the job. Which is better? If there is no way to manage the two and save both, then you want to take one and let one go, right? You want to take the one that is of most important and let the other go. Why is that so? Because you cannot solve everything at a time, right? You want to, when you identify your problems, if there are more than one that you are dealing with, you want to focus first on the one that is very important. You see, Jesus said something. He said, if your eyes be single, your whole body shall be full of light. Meaning, if you can focus on a particular thing, the energy to solve that problem will be released. For all your being, right, will be released. It's just like when you are playing football in the your target is to hit that post, to make sure the ball enters that post, bypass the goalkeeper, right? So you see that there is energy, there is drive. When the ball is in your hand, your aim is to score. That is how it is. When you now identify the problem, you want to make sure that your whole attention is fixed on solving one per time. If you chase everything, okay, let's say you are trying to keep this one, you are trying to solve this, solve this, solve this, at the end of the day you will crash land, right? So what you want to do is you want to focus your attention. If what is of most important to you at that moment is that job, then you need to let your partner know that this job is more important. And if they cannot understand with you, you let them go here, you face your job, right? If your relationship is more important to you, you want to leave the job and face your relationship. You understand? So you want to, at every point, solve what is more important and leave what the other to be done later. You understand? Let me give you another example. So let's say you have uh, issues, you saw two issues, you have identified two problems. Let's say you are having issue with your boss, and at the same time you are contemplating starting a business and retaining your job even though you're having issue with your boss. Now you want to weigh the option because now you are in between decision. If you start your business, how long will it take you to for that business to begin to foot your bills? And if you decide to use because your boss is so angry and everything, and just let that job go, what impact will it have on you? You need to put all these things together, and then you will focus. If keeping the job is your option at that time, is the best option at that time, you want to let go of that business first and face the job. Do the job to a point where you are now satisfied, you know you have gathered enough, then you want to come out, and then you want to strategize on starting your business. But most people, what they do is they just leave the job without any concrete plan just because somebody offended them. No, that offense you are getting is a problem you need to solve. Having offense in anywhere that you are human gathering is inevitable, but you don't let it to what to make you make hasty decision. You can refer to my previous post where I talked about signs that your life is getting bad, right? One of them is always acting on emotions. You can refer to that video. So now that you have identified the problem, you need to focus on what is most important. Look at our maker. For example, in Genesis chapter 1, if you read the Bible, you discover God identified a problem. What was the problem? The earth was scattered. The Bible said the earth was formless and void, right? There was no beauty to behold on the earth. How did our maker address the matter? Now, for the earth to be beautiful, the grasses need to be created, water needs to be created, we need land, we need the birds, we need the animals, we need the vegetation, we need the firmament, we need everything that is on the earth to be created, right? But did God just come and start chasing everything? No, God took them step by step. First, He created what is more important. And if you look at the order of creation, you realize that God created according to their importance. And then, when everything was ready, that was when He brought man to this scene, right? So you want to always make sure that you are facing one thing per time. Face it squarely, solve it, go to another one. Face it squarely, solve it, go to another one. By so doing, you discover that you reduce all your troubles to the barest minimum. So every time you identify your issues, you want to reduce them to the barest minimum, right? Reduce it to the barest minimum and then face it squarely. Pick what you know is more important at that time and face it squarely. Solve it before going to another one. So these are some of the ways you can solve your problems. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Also drop a comment if you think there is something I didn't add, right? You can drop it on the comment section for others to also learn. See you in the next video.